This week on NintenDomain, we get into our impressions of Paper Mario Color Splash, and we promise it won't be weird.
And we're going to ring everything out, but not in real time.
Real-time ringing. Welcome to NintenDomain episode 42. We are your hosts, Trey Johnson,
Jeremy McCaskey,
and we're back again. We're back in the internet world where we're on Skype again. Sorry,
back on Skype, and it's not in real time. It's not real time,
and we have no video either. So, for all of those people who've been spoiled for the last 3 weeks, all 8 of you who watched our videos, we're back with just audio,
straight up audio. So you're just going to use your imagination,
to
know what we're looking at.
What's happened in the week? What do you want to do? News or games you played first?
We could do games we played first.
Okay. What have you been playing this week?
So other than the topic,
aside from the topic, of course.
Aside from the topic, I've been trying to finish a game because I'm starting to really get serious about this list we're going to make. We're going to beat some games that we need to beat. Distracted by the topic of the week, but I got to Bowser in the hot tub in Mario Sunshine.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't beat him yet. I got to him and lost the first 2 times I tried, and I was like, fuck it. But I can go straight there. So I'm at the end of that game, so I can beat it.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass.
It's annoying as fuck how the controls... the controls in that game can get a little frustrating.
I remember getting there being really difficult. Like, on the way to the hot tub, when you go through that, like, lava river or whatever it is. I remember really that tedious. Being incredibly annoying.
There's a really tedious part, where you have to navigate your boat through lava using water spray. You have to like stand at different parts of the boat. Like it's using like the real in-game physics to determine how the boat moves, but it's still because like if you run into a wall, you sink and you go all the way back. So that part sucks. But if you take it slow, it's fine. You just gotta go nice and slow.
Because isn't there like some checkpoint problems there? Like if you die at a certain part, you have to start over and do it again. I remember there's a problem with that.
Checkpoint. There's a mid checkpoint. No, there's not. There's not a mid checkpoint, but once you actually get to Bowser, you get a start.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that's why I was having problems with that boat part and the lava because I think I was dying in that, and I kept having to start over, and it was annoying.
But to actually get to Bowser, I had to beat some pretty annoying stuff, and so I think that's the real accomplishment.
What sprites you had to get?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I had to beat all the secrets in each of the levels. I haven't beat all the secrets in the main hub. The secrets are really hard. The secret levels.
Oh yeah, the stuff with the acapella Mario song.
Yeah,
that I like so much.
They take away your water packs. It's just old school.
Yeah, that was basically
crazy shit going on in those levels.
Basically, Super Mario Galaxy, a precursor to Super Mario Galaxy.
The last one I beat was really annoying because you had to have the piantas or whatever they're called throw you around.
Oh yeah, that was always annoying.
If you remember that, it really sucks.
Yeah, those piantas are awful.
And that's just not I don't know. It's really stupid how you have to actually finally figure out how they're going to throw you. You have to just time pressing the button as they're walking past you, and then they have to be facing the correct angle because if they're even off a little bit in the angle, they just like throw you into a pit and you have to start over.
Yeah, there's not really anything you can control about it. It's just them. So
well, you can, but you have to just like be monitoring your camera angle and have it like perfectly perpendicular to whatever surface they're going to throw you to.
I remember it being
hard to describe within that. But yeah, you have to just keep your horizon as a straight line, and then they'll throw you in the right direction. But if it's even a little askew, they'll like toss you in it. You got to play it to understand it, but it's not a mechanic that they really seem to have polished.
For sure,
and you have to beat that level in order to get to Bowser. And then the one where you have to get the biggest watermelon to the end.
That one's hard. That was the one on the beach, right?
Yeah. There's all those things you can't kill. The duck-looking weird machine things that throw you up in the air.
Yeah.
And if they touch your watermelon, they destroy it, and you have to go all the way back to the beginning.
The cataquacks? I think they're called cataquacks. right?
Yeah, they're weird. And for some reason, they're invincible. I don't know why they thought that was a
Yeah, they like those so much that they put them in Double Dash.
They're like a dry bones sort of character that they don't actually die. You just stun them and they come back.
Well, they had those little mouse-looking guys with the flip pans in Super Mario 64, so I always felt the Cataquacks were kind of like the evolution of that. There were those guys that had like the windy thing on the back.
Yeah,
they like wind up and they'd flip you. They're like the same thing. And you can't kill them either.
They're sort of like them too.
Yeah. So the Piantas are really weird looking.
It's all about lining up your like camera angle. Is all it's about. You just have to have the camera angle lined up.
For sure.
But anyway, so I'm feeling good about that. I'm gonna finish it this week. I think it's gonna be an easy check off the list that I haven't made yet.
Oh, for Super Mario 64 or
well,
Sunshine.
Games I have to beat. Yeah, that one's gonna be.
Well, speaking of games I have to beat, I made it through Dragon Quest 4, so
nice.
That's cool. Had like the fucking hardest.
You did send me a screenshot, so I believe you.
Yeah, I sent you the fin. Actually, a funny thing that I learned the other day. I forget. What was it? Swedish? I think in Swedish the term for end is slut. So wouldn't it be funny if they said that all the time instead of fin? That's what I learned from watching.
Only the Swedish would have like influenced cinema as much as the French.
I think it was Swedish.
Slut instead of fiend.
Yeah, I watched this like 2 hour long. Probably the best silent movie I've ever seen. But I've been watching a lot of the Criterion movies that are on Hulu because there's a shitload of them, and I like to watch like old movies. And I watched this old movie called The Phantom Carriage that's on there, and it's like a 2 hour long silent movie. But it's like probably like the most intense silent movie I've seen. But yeah, at the end it says "slut." The end.
Cool. So it's a Swedish movie, or
I think it's Swedish.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's not that I want to talk about Hulu a lot because we're not getting paid by them or anything. I forgot that on Hulu they've got all the Criterion stuff, which is pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, it's super cool. I've just been going through just marking ones that I thought were looked cool. And there's a lot of interesting, like they got a lot of like Japanese movies and older movies. Yeah, it's a Swedish 1921 Swedish horror movie, The Phantom Carriage.
Cool.
But, yeah, it would be funny if everything ended with the Swedish ending instead of the French one. It just said slut. But yeah, aside from that, the final boss of Dragon Quest IV was insane. He had 7 different forms. It was ridiculous. Like it kept being like, "Oh, I think I got him," and be like, "Oh no, I didn't."
Oh
no,
wow, is that where that comes from? Dragon Ball Z?
Maybe.
The same one.
I mean, yeah.
This is even my final form.
Well, it's like it starts off as this boss that looks like some of the other bosses, and like it's like you break him down and then he gets rebuilt back up, which are the different forms. So like he starts as this thing that you already beat as this different character. And then he loses an arm, and then he does specific attacks like that with one arm, and then he loses another arm, and he's just a head, and he attacks like that for a while, and then he loses his head, and then his stomach grows a face. So then you do that, and then like after that, like he grows arms, he grows his arms back, and that's another form, and then his legs get bigger, and he like gets taller. That's another form. And then he grows a second head, and I think that is the final form. But yeah, it was insane. Like once you get to the second head, it's crazy. It gets to where it's just pretty much like you're gonna die, you have
definitely seeing a parallel in the Dragon Ball cartoons. It's like the really powerful enemies having all these different forms.
Yeah, but it was hard. But I made it through that, and then I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna stop there and then just play Final Fantasy. And then just play Dragon Quest VII until I get through that, and then I'll go back to 5 and 6. And those are the Super Nintendo ones, so I'll just have just because I haven't started either of those, have like a
Do you have
break.
those on? Do you own them already?
Yeah, I have all of them. I have all of them except for 8.
You have the 5 and 6 on DS, right?
Yeah, I have the 5 and 6 on DS. My 5 is still sealed. I haven't opened it yet, so it's still in the plastic. But supposedly 5.
Have you been chugging away at 7, or have you had a chance to?
I played 7 when I can, so I played it. It's still fun. I mean, it was nice. It was nice to get back into it because I kept hearing people talk about it, and I'm like, oh, but I'm still playing Dragon Quest IV. But Dragon Quest IV is great. I mean, it's a great game. Like I was happy. Like once I got to the boss and died about 10 times and finally made it through, I was happy with the game overall. But man, that last boss was just a pain in the ass. I had to
the part you described with the guy that owns the shop, right? Isn't that Dragon Quest IV?
Yeah, Tornico Taloon. Yeah, where you spend a chapter like pretty much raising money for his shop and selling weapons. Yeah, that part's cool.
I think I've heard that 5 is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say 5 is good. People say 5 is the best one, so I have that to look forward to. I don't know. When I was listening to whatever the last NBC episode, they said like I don't know. They said like 5 and 9, I guess, were the best ones. That's what they said.
And 9's the one on, is that Sentinels of the Starry Sky?
Yeah, you have that one.
Yeah, I have it. I need to play it.
Nine's one you should play. I feel like you should play 9 later, though, once you understand like the way Dragon Quest works. Because I feel like 9's almost kind of a remake of 3, or it's similar to 3, like where you can make your own guys and kind of like change your professions early and all that, change your jobs. So if I would have known, I would have rather played it later. So I've kind of like put that one on the burner too. I'll probably finish it whenever I get done with 5 and 6. I'll go back to 9 and go through it. I might even start it over again. I don't know. It's cool though. It's fun. I mean, you can start at 7, I guess. I think you should play 3 for sure. I don't know why IGN didn't include 3 in there. I think 3 is probably one of the best ones. According to Japan, like that's like the big one. It's 3. And it is a lot of fun. It's like before they got more story heavy, but it's just a good game, for that series, for the NES RPGs.
Well, I do have 1 and 2 on the Game Boy Color. I also have the first one on NES, the actual NES cartridge.
Yeah, I was thinking about.
And so I own 3 of them already. Yeah.
Yeah, you have 1 and 2. You have 1 and 2 and 9, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got some of them.
I can definitely at some point play through.
Well, I was thinking about like as a preview for next week on this show, we can have a preview. I was thinking about maybe doing like an obscure NES thing again, but we would do like, this is the game for NES that I've wanted to beat, but I never beat, and then we'll beat it for next week and talk about it. That's what I thought we could do. So we'll do like sort of a homework type thing.
Okay, I guess I'll have to brainstorm. So I can't even announce what it is yet. So.
Yeah, I was gonna try for Metal Storm. So I was gonna try to beat Metal Storm. Was my plan. We'll see how well I can do with that, because I can get fairly far. Like I used to play it a lot when I was a kid, and there's not that many levels on it. So I wanted to see if I could get through it. And
you still own the original cartridge?
I do still have the original cartridge, so I can play it on the actual cartridge. So yeah, that was what I was thinking we could do for next week. But was there any news this week? I know there was some Virtual Console stuff that we missed. Like in between shows, Mario vs. Donkey Kong 2 on DS was released on Virtual Console for the Wii U. That's between our last 2 shows that happened, or between our mini Famicom one and this one. And Animal Crossing for DS was released on Wii U. So there's finally an Animal Crossing game on Wii U. Other than Amiibo Festival, like an actual Animal Crossing. I thought that was a weird thing. I've never seen Animal Crossing released as a Virtual Console game, but why not?
Yeah, I guess it's been out a while in Europe already, so it's not like.
Oh, I didn't know that it was out in Europe.
Yeah, the world's not like reeling from it, but it is strange. It's very strange.
It caught me off guard, like because I hadn't heard about it before.
Because a big part of that game was it was the first one to have like a pretty robust online.
Yeah, but you can still play it and have fun with it without that, though. Like I bought that game for Jess, like at the Wisconsin one that I went to, and she just played through it regularly, without any of the online stuff. You don't really need it. So it's interesting, I guess, if for anyone who doesn't have a DS or never played it, or never played Animal Crossing, you can play that one.
Supposedly there's some, like, I don't even remember. I had it and I played it for a while, but there's some sort of, like, transfer thing you can still do, like, with using codes. So you can still kind of interact with people.
Oh, yeah, it probably has the same transfer system that the GameCube one had, where you can use the codes from different towns and get things.
There's something with that.
Because you could do that on the GameCube one, where it was kind of like connected when you're not, even though you're not connected.
Yeah, I think it's something along those lines.
Yeah, but it's a fun game. You can get all sorts of cool stuff. Kirby's Canvas Curse got released too on the same day. That was a fun game. Like I felt like that was like the first good DS game that I had. That was like, that felt like like it was good for DS. Because I had because there was the Super Mario RPG or the Super Mario 64 DS, which was I guess good in its own way, but it didn't really feel like a DS game because it wasn't. It was a port with some weird touchscreen controls, and then there was to feel the magic, which was kind of like a demo, but Kirby felt like the first full game on DS. I thought it was an early launch, so I had a lot of fun with it. So if anybody hasn't bought it yet, they should totally get it on the Wii U.
Yeah, check it out. It's what, $10? Is that what they charge for it?
Yeah, I think it's 10.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, sometimes they're a little bit less, but I think that one's probably like $8.99 or $9.99. So it's a lot of fun. That game's a lot of fun. And then if you play the Rainbow Curse, you already know how to play it, pretty much. Except it's not as pretty.
Yeah, the DS games don't exactly look great on the big screen.
Yeah, but this one's this one's 16-bit. It's like bit and not 3D. Or I don't know. I don't think they look that bad. I mean,
I see what you mean. So it's actually like sprite art.
Yeah, it's sprite art and not 3D. Which I don't know if that makes a difference, but
it does.
It probably looks a little bit better.
It definitely does.
Yeah,
and you can also do the split screen mode on the Wii. The Wii screen.
Yeah, you could. Well, for that game you play most of the game on the bottom screen, so you wouldn't be able to put the full screen completely on the TV anyway, because most of it's touchscreen. So that's always weird. Because you'll pretty much be watching the gamepad the whole time anyway while you play that, because that's just how it is. Something we forgot to mention last week about the Famicom Mini that I completely forgot was that the games that are on there are based off of the disk system. So they're getting better versions of it. Like Metroid has the saves in it instead of the passwords, which is awesome. And I know the audio quality is a little bit better.
Oh yeah, the audio quality is supposed to be far superior.
Yeah, the audio quality is better too. But yeah, that's cool. Like another thing they got more than us, where they get 2 controllers and they get the disc system version of those games.
And they get Final Fantasy 3.
And 3, yeah, Final Fantasy 3.
I think that's pretty cool.
For sure, yeah. Just makes more. And have you tried reserving one yet? So I heard they were on.
Hold on.
Well, they were on Amazon for a minute. You had to go to the Japanese one though. You had to be able to read Japanese.
I didn't even think to try that because I can't read Japanese.
But you can Google Translate through it. Like apparently Jess said she got on there and tried to get it, but they were already gone. But yeah, you can do it through the Amazon app. You can switch it to Amazon Japan and look at what they have for NES Mini. Or for
I bet that wouldn't have happened
Mini.
if, or at least it wouldn't have happened as quickly if they would have made the US ones available by now.
Yeah,
I've never checked my email as much as I have this past month or so. Because I was they've got to make it available on October 11th. Like that's 1 month prior. No, it's still not.
October 11th has come and gone.
It has.
Yeah.
But I thought for sure it couldn't be any later than October 11th.
You would think, but yeah. Well, you would think that they would have said something
high.
about that.
I've heard people talking about. I work at a restaurant, and so I overhear people talking about stuff once in a while, and whatever. I usually don't listen to it, but I overheard someone actually talking about the mini Nintendo.
Oh, really?
Oh, damn it! I want that so bad. She was just talking about it, it looks really cool. It's like the old Nintendo.
I saw some footage of it online, like actual straight up footage, and it looks beautiful. Like the HDMI, the actual the pixel perfect mode looks really, really good.
Way better looking than what we have in the Wii U.
No, I'm just saying it's like it looks a lot different. Like I watched somebody play it on a YouTube video for I forget what it was, and I was like, wow, this looks. I noticed a major difference from it. Like it looked a lot brighter than any of the Virtual Console versions of them that I played. So looks gorgeous. Looks very cool. So I'm excited about it.
Pixel perfect HD is going to look so nice.
When I was last week when I was bartending, I overheard somebody mention the NX, so that was funny. Well, so I was talking to this guy about video games, and we were talking about Monster Hunter, and he was talking about he's like, well, I wish that Monster Hunter was more of a console thing than a handheld thing. And I'm like, well, Japan, they like their handhelds. And he's like, well, it all depends on what this new Nintendo thing is. And I was like, oh yeah, you mean that thing? Because he thought that it was going to be the whole hybrid system that people were talking about. Because then if it was, then you could play Monster Hunter at home again. If they decide to put that on there. But I just thought it was funny that somebody in the wild talked about it and not just crazy internet people. But I guess anybody who's following Nintendo was wondering about the new system and all that, which we are. But
they're pretty much being harassed about it every day. Probably worse than they ever have about anything ever.
Yeah. They're getting more harassed about the NX than they've been about anything ever.
I wouldn't be surprised if people are like getting death threats and stuff.
Calling him on the phone and be like, dude, what's up, man? What's going on?
Just let me know.
Just tell us. Yeah.
Is Battletoads going to be on the NX? I just need to know that.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I think that's a Microsoft thing now. I mean, it was a Rare game. The Battletoads was.
It was a Rare type.
No, it was made by Rare.
Oh, right.
They made the arcade at least. But yeah, no, they have the rights to Battletoads now. Microsoft does. There was also a guy who hacked Super Mario 64 in the news. Apparently he created a whole new game out of it. It has like 130 new stars, a ton of levels. Pretty much every power-up from any Mario game is in there. Like the frog suit, there's like Cloud Mario and Bee Mario. And there's like the Ice Mario that is from Mario Galaxy. And he put like the stars in there to where the stars will shoot you from one part of the level to the other. There's some Yoshi stuff too where you can throw shells. Looks pretty cool. I was trying to find the download for it, but it kept sending me to some sort of Patreon thing. So I don't know if you have to pay for it to get that. It doesn't seem to make any sense to me, like for paying him to like hack a ROM. I mean, I don't know. It's not really his property. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't either. It's probably one of those things that's going to be, until it's on Nintendo's radar, it's just going to keep going.
Yeah, I figured it would have been shut down by now, but you never know.
The guy can, I think legally he's allowed to hack the ROM if he feels like it. And there's not that many stipulations for Patreon. You can pretty much set the Patreon for anything.
Well, I thought the whole idea that he's asking people to pay him for it might like kind of turn their heads or like throw up red flags. I don't know, for something they doesn't own.
Or it's not out yet and he's asking for money to help pay for development.
For sure. There's Monster Hunter's on sale for $27.99. I thought about getting that.
Which Monster Hunter? The
new one, Generations. I was having trouble with the memory card earlier though on my 3DS. So
you're trying to use like you're trying to use like 128 or something, aren't you?
Yeah. I guess I thought
of like 32 on.
I thought I had I have a 32 one, and that one's pretty much full, the 32 gig. So, and I looked online, and a lot of people said that you can do it as long as you format it right. And it came already formatted in FAT32, and I was able to copy everything.
So you can download different formatters.
Yeah, I probably should try that. I mean, I'm not giving up on it yet, but it's been like I just copy it onto my computer, and then I copy it onto the other card. And then I put it in the card, and like half of the games are in there, and the half of the games are gone. And it's like you have to re-download them, and I'm like, okay, I'll try re-downloading one. It won't let me re-download it. It says that I don't have it, and it would just going to charge me for it again. So it's like, okay, there's something screwed up here.
So it's not reading it, and it's not saving.
No, it's reading it. I mean, I haven't really tried to save to it, I guess. I mean, I played some stuff off Virtual Console on it, and that worked fine. But some games just weren't there. Like it had the icon for it, but it didn't. When you go over it, it doesn't show the 3D thing, you know. And so it'll say like you have to re-download this. So then you go online to the store, and then it shows the price on it. It doesn't like say, oh, you can download it again for free because you already bought it.
Oh.
And then if you try to download it anyway, like stuff that's free, it says like error. So it's something that's messed up with the card, or with the way that I copied it, or with the way it's formatted, or whatever. Because like even like themes that I downloaded for free like weren't on there. And when I tried to go to like the theme shop, it said like error. It said like a SD problem. So I don't know.
Do you think you're throwing too high of a capacity card at it? Like that's what I would think. It could just be a
But if you look, according to Nintendo Life, the website, you can use those cards. You just have to format them in the right way.
And you're also using the newest version of the hardware.
Yeah, I always update the hardware. No, I made sure and researched it.
Well, no, I mean like you have the newest 3DS. So you'd think it would have a higher capacity. No,
I mean, I made sure and researched online that you could use a card like that before we ordered the card. So I did all the precautions. It's just,
shit. Maybe you got a bum card.
But I haven't, I didn't actually format it. You know, it was like, when it showed up on my computer, it said it was formatted in FAT32, so I thought it was okay. But maybe you have to do it a certain way. Like, I think you have to go in there and change some stuff. I don't know. I'll keep messing around with it. But that's kind of what's halting my purchase of Monster Hunter Generations. Is that I don't have enough memory for anything really. I'm like completely out of memory. I had to delete a couple things to play some other games. So I ended up deleting what is it, the Rhythm Thief or whatever it's called. It was one that was with the Humble Bundle. I deleted that because it was really big.
Oh yeah.
To make room for some update for Metroid or something like that. So my card's completely full. the 30 gig one.
It's still pretty awesome that it lasted you this long. I mean, you've had the 3DS for 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I've had it for a long time, but 30 gigs is not that much space, and I have a lot of games on there. And games like Monster Hunter are big. Like they're like 20, 30,000 notes or whatever they are, whatever they're called on there.
They're a few gigs, probably.
And I think I have like 2,000, something like that. So yeah, it takes up a lot of space. But still, it's cool. It's cool that it's on sale. Speaking of on sale, apparently you can pre-order the Street Fighter 2 soundtrack on record, which is awesome. I thought about getting that. It's like a box set of 4 different records with remastered music from the arcade. So that's pretty dope. I like to see video game music on record.
How much does that cost? Is it pretty cheap?
It's $75 for 4 records.
That's not bad.
But that's not super bad.
It's probably got some cool artwork. Oh
yeah. Yeah, no, it has yeah, from the artwork that I saw on the website, it looks pretty cool.
Is it one of them records that has the holograms on it?
It says it's on colored vinyl with art prints sourced from the Capcom archive. So I don't think they're, but I've heard about those, the ones that you're talking about, the hologram ones that like move while they play. But it's cool. I like that soundtrack a lot. So I mean, it'd be cool to have it on record. There's also somebody made a sequel to Tecmo Bowl as well. You can get a Tecmo Super Bowl 2017 like as a cartridge that will play on an NES. I thought that was pretty rad.
Do you get that through like Etsy or something? How do you buy it?
I found it on TecmoBowlers.com. It's where I found it.
You just gotta go to the games site.
TecmoBowlers.com.
So there's an internet fan community for that game still. The original Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, but they added some more moves on there. Like you can do, they've added some moves where you press the direction in A and it does different things, and like start and select do things now too. They added some animations and some stats for the players, and I'm sure the teams are updated. Like there's some teams that are missing from the original Tecmo Bowl that are current right now. I know that, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I like those games because of their simplicity. I was never really that good at football games, but when you only have like 4 moves to pick from, it makes it a lot easier and a lot more fun too. I like the arcadiness of it.
I do.
So, I thought that was pretty rad.
Well, if we can find a link, maybe we can put that in the description. Because it sounds like something cool to check out.
The Tecmo Bowlers? Or Tecmo Bowl 2017?
Well, buying a brand new cartridge that you can play on your source hardware. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like that. Well, a lot of people do that still. I mean, as you've heard. Jeffrey Wittenhagen, our guest, talked about it also, that the Halloween 85 and Halloween 86, like those. And also that guy who made like that real-time strategy game. Seems like people do that a lot, but they don't really do it with like Super Nintendo games or 64 games or anything like that. It's been mostly just been NES games, but still it's cool that people are still making stuff for them. There was that weird puzzle robot game too, where like everything's like a one-screen puzzle. I watched some videos of that. I've seen that for sale. But yeah, it's cool that they still make games for that. I wish they would do it for other systems also.
I've seen some YouTube celebrities will have like games based on cartridge that fans make.
Oh, for sure.
I think Metal Jesus has one. I think he was mentioned by Jeffrey Wittenhagen.
Yeah.
He's also the same guy that got a hold of the pre-production consumer model of the Nintendo 64 DD.
Yeah, he has the English 64 DD, right? I think I watched some of that. I think he has a video about how to tell like whether your Game Boy packs are real or not. Also,
yeah,
like whether the carts are real. Like
I like that one.
People have been hacking a lot of them. I think you liked that one since you thought your Final Fantasy was not good.
That was one of my source videos that I had looked at.
Well, do you want to take a quick break and then we'll get into some color here? We'll get to splash some color around. All right. So what did you think of Paper Mario Color Splash?
I really like this game, man.
Good things first. Oh, you enjoy it?
Yeah, I like this game. I think it's my top Wii game of the year, for sure.
Oh, wow. Really?
Well, first party.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't put it there. It's still kind of, but I haven't played it as far as you have. How far have you gotten on it?
Well, this is like more up my alley, like than Star Fox, which would be the other contender.
Yeah, right. Star Fox Guard, right? That's 0.
Right. So I like it. It's definitely a callback to the original Paper Mario games. Yeah, the battle system's different. It feels familiar. It feels like an actual sort of continuation of, I guess, Thousand Year Door. I would give it a C. A C.
Kind of.
I'm saying I would give it a C on continuing that, but it does do that.
I mean, it continues it in the fact that they're both made of paper. The main characters are. And that there's a turn-based combat in it, I guess. But everything else is pretty changed, I'd say, from Thousand Year Door.
I guess the buddy system with the two, you've got the character helping you out. That's been in most of the Paper Mario games, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how does it compare to, like, Super Paper Mario? Do you like it better than that?
Oh, I definitely do.
Oh.
But see...
I like Super Paper Mario much better than this one. But this one is too... It's still it stinks a lot of Sticker Star still, which you still haven't played, but...
See,
if you like this one a lot, you'd probably like that one too, I guess.
I don't like it a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like this game. I really do. I think it does a lot of things really well, which make it nice. I think there's definitely some faults, but I think the things that it does well, it does really well. And I don't know. I just love something this. I will just say one thing right now. I love how good it looks. It looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, Sticker Star looks great too.
It's a super pretty game.
Yeah, that's part of like what brings me back to it. I guess is like how like it looks really really pretty, but I don't know. It's kind of a victim of its own success, I guess. Like the Paper Mario games will always be looked down at because of them not being like Thousand Year Door or the original Paper Mario. Since they've kind of diverted so far from that, like people have a hard time liking it, myself included. Like just that they've kind of abandoned a lot of the fun stuff about RPGs to kind of almost not even make it an RPG. I guess they made the battles a little bit less pointless in this version. I know I felt this one was like pretty much the same problems as Sticker Star, but they do some things to make it a little bit less bad. To make it like a little bit less bad than Sticker Star is what I felt about it.
Man, I haven't played a lick of Sticker Star, so you'll definitely have to explain that a little better. But
well, I mean, it's like, like I said before in our Super Mario RPG episode, Paper Mario Sticker Star was the first time that they removed the experience points from the battle systems. So the battles don't mean anything really. Like all that you really get from completing them is coins and lost stickers, which is basically what happens in this one too. Whenever you play a battle, you lose your cards and you lose hit points. But in this one, you get hammer stuff that like refills that kind of like does some sort of leveling up for how much paint you have.
Yeah, that's the only level up though.
Which makes the battles a little bit less dumb. Is what they're trying to do with that. Whereas
right,
like,
because
same
if
thing
you,
for Sticker
if you feel
Star,
like
where you don't get anything with Sticker Star.
Yeah, I think in this game, if you feel like you're stuck in one of those like hallways or whatever, where you have to fight a bunch of enemies in a row, and you're like, "Fuck, I would rather avoid these guys." I think in this game, you should definitely avoid a lot of the bad guys.
Oh, I did. But, like in the Morton Castle, I walked around a lot of those slinky the slinky Goombas. I avoided all of them.
Oh, so did I.
As much as I could. And it took me forever to figure out that the 1-up mushrooms gave you your paint back. I didn't figure that out until later.
Same here, man. I thought it was I thought if I held it in my inventory, it would heal me when I died, which turned out that finally happened.
Yeah, kind of like a fairy in Zelda. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, and I think there's a mushroom, like a pink mushroom or something, maybe.
Oh, I haven't gotten that far.
Mushroom? No, in Thousand Year Door.
Oh yeah, like a Life 3 type of thing.
Yeah,
because there was Life 3 in Final Fantasy 6. I remember you had to do that to beat one of the bosses. Where like you cast it to where when you die you'll come right back to life. It's
like Life 3 and the fairy from Link combined.
The fairy from Link and also rations and Metal Gear do the same thing. Like you can they'll bring you back to life when you die. So, but yeah, it's I thought it was something like that also, and I got my ass kicked from Morton the first time I played him in the very first star, because I was like, me playing a lot of RPGs, I always think that hey, you should be able to beat the boss if you could figure out how to beat the boss, but not in this game. You need the win button that they call thing cards, Things. So basically, that's there's thing stickers in Sticker Star also, like same sort of thing, same exact thing. Where you find like an object, it gets turned into a sticker. Except in Sticker Star, you have a sticker book, and the thing stickers take up like over half of the sticker of a page in the sticker book. So that's kind of annoying. So you can't really carry that many with you at all times.
And in this one you can just have like kinds of thing cards.
So how they made it a little bit better in this one, they made the thing cards smaller, so they don't take up a lot of space. You can carry a lot of them.
Okay.
That was like how they made the Sticker Star stuff a little bit better, but it's still the same thing. You know,
so other than that,
kind
it's
of what they're doing.
The same.
Pretty much, yeah. Except for Sticker Star, I didn't get to the point where I could use like 2 stickers at a time, like how you can use multiple cards on this. I didn't get that far. But they have the same sort of thing where
great.
you can. They have the same sort of thing where you can spend money to get cards if you get stuck. Like they had that in Sticker Star also.
You can rebuy the special item cards. You need to.
Yeah, you can do that in Sticker Star also. There's a guy you can go to and get the thing cards back.
That's
if you
all
need
right.
them. But like one thing about Sticker Star is, you know how there's like a guy before, like when I got to the part with Morton, which is only in the first level. That's like the end of the first level. There's a guy who tells you like what you need before you go into that castle. Like they didn't have that in Sticker Star. So like you basically get to the last guy, you get your ass kicked, you don't know why you didn't make it. So you get stuck, and then you got to go back and find it, and then go over there again. There was no like hint system, I guess, to get about what you needed. And also I got stuck. Like I got killed by Morton because I didn't have the fucking fire extinguisher, but I also couldn't figure out how to get the fire extinguisher because you had to like find all the toads and get them up there and all that. So. That was incredibly irritating. That was the first time that I started to get irritated by the game. Was in that part when it was really starting to remind me of Sticker Star. So it's like,
well, I found all the purple toads because I've been like going through the levels. I don't know. I found them all and I had them all when I needed them. So I've kind of lucked out playing through this game where I've just like taken my time in all the levels and try to find everything.
Sure. Well, some of them I just didn't notice. It was just a toad that I didn't talk to. That I was just like, oh, he's just a toad, whatever.
That is kind of
because I thought maybe it was for later, and then it's like, oh wait, you need it now, and I'm like, oh well, fuck. So now I got to go back and get the stupid fire extinguisher.
Well, I've been taking my sweet time with this game because it's the last Wii U, like big Wii U game other than the Zelda.
Yeah.
So,
possibly, unless they like throw some sort of surprise at us at the end of
I don't think so.
at the end of the year. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't discount it. You never know. They might come out of nowhere and be like, "Hey, this is out today. Go get it." But I don't know. But yeah, it's still. I mean, it looks pretty. It's kind of fun to paint stuff. You know, like the white things you can paint over. The dialogue is great. Like it's very funny. Like I wrote down a lot of. I've been writing quotes down like as I've been playing it. Like I like the part where there's a part where you find a toad that like fell off the mountain. He's like, I creased my leg, and his leg's like bent. I thought that was funny. There's stuff like the I can't feel my pants when the guy's getting the color sucked out of him, the toad, when his legs are white. Pretty funny.
There was a guy I talked to that he's like a philosophical toad or whatever. For whatever reason, he's like a guru or something. Like at one point he says, "I am but a nail in the 2x4 of fate."
Yeah. Oh, there was a guy who said, "Do you remember the homeless guy that talked like in Shakespearean accent at Columbia? Do you remember that guy?
Yeah.
The toad? Yeah, there was a guy who said a toad quote.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, he says, "The world is vast, young ones, and I am but a toad." That's what the toad said. And I was like, the fucking toad guy used to say that. The homeless guy.
Is that something from like Shakespeare, or is it?
Oh, I don't know. It could be. But that's like how he would always say. It'd be like he would be like, "Oh, my lovely friends, I am but a toad." Like he would talk like that, you know. And it reminded me of that. And it's funny because it's a toad saying, "I am a toad." You know, I thought it was cute. And I think it's creative, like how their color gradually goes away, and that's how you can tell like how much damage you've done on the character. Now that they've completely taken out like hit point numbers, where it's like where you hit like because in Sticker Star it would show like a point go off of them, and they had life bars and all that. So they've gotten rid of that. Now it's just the depletion of the color. So that's
a pretty good indicator, though.
Yeah, but it's also kind of annoying because you can't really tell like the damage difference between like a card that isn't colored and a card that is colored. You know, like stuff like that.
That's true.
It's hard to differentiate. So I don't know. And I saw a thing online where a guy got stuck. Because they have the Kamek stuff where he'll like jinx your stuff. You know.
Yeah.
And the worst one is when he flips all your cards around. I got stuck with that for like a long fucking time.
Really?
Well, because he flipped all my cards around, and they were like flying enemies, and I couldn't find any of the boots, so I kept, or no, it wasn't flying enemies, it was spiked enemies, and I kept choosing boots, and I almost killed myself. Because every time you hit the spike, you lose like 10 points, and it's like... But I saw something online where a guy got completely stuck in the game because of that. Like, he got put up against bats, and Kamek basically gave him all hammers, and he can't do it, and he couldn't do anything. He basically
had to go back to less save.
He basically had to use every single hammer that he had before they let him flee the battle. Because your flee button is destroyed whenever you get hit by Kamek, and you can't use the roulette either. You can't pay to get new cards, like when Kamek hits you. So,
damn.
So that's like kind of a glitch in the system there for that,
Well, I haven't had any trouble with that yet. I mean, it's been annoying, but I've had to use some cards I didn't want to use up that I was trying to save.
When they flip the cards, I'm always afraid of using the item cards by accident.
Well, there was one time where I only had my item cards.
Oh shit!
So I had to use like 4 of them. It sucked. Oh my god! But then I just went and bought more.
Yeah, I've been buying a lot of stuff from the town just to try to stay stocked on them.
You have to buy like 200 cards to get one of those banners.
Oh yeah. Well, I figured you'd get to that eventually through the game.
You will, which I have. I
haven't gotten any banners yet though, but I only have 1 star. I'm still fairly like how far are you into it?
I just got my 4th star today.
Oh yeah, well you're pretty close. What are there 7 stars? Like all of them, pretty much.
It looks like there's 6 from the way the fountain shaped.
There's probably like a middle one though. I'm sure.
Maybe.
I mean, it seems like 7,
but it looks like it's just the first. It looks like it's red, yellow, blue, and then all the secondary.
Oh.
So that would make sense. There's 6.
Sure. Well, there could be like a rainbow star or something in the middle.
Sure.
I do like how like they like if you hit a tree and you get green, like it refills like your blue and yellow. And if you're like painting a green spot, like you lose stuff in blue and yellow. Like little details like that are very cool. Like there's a lot of like really neat details that are in there. It's just
but I will tell you, you lose some of the like if you want to stock up on paint, you just go to the town square because you get the red, blue, and yellow first 3 stars. Spoiler alert, whatever. But once you have those, you can always just go refill on paint.
Oh yeah.
So it takes some of the challenge away for sure.
Well, when you're in the middle of a level though, and you kind of run low on paint from painting everything,
you can't leave.
Well, I guess you can use those 1-up mushrooms, which I didn't realize until later.
There's definitely sort of a corridor you're going down in this game, I would say, in a way, because I've played pretty far into it, and basically just have to find everything in every level. It's really how the game's set up.
Yeah,
so you don't have a choice but to do that, otherwise it's going to send you back to do it anyway.
Yeah, sure. No, it will.
So that's kind of like my advice for the game and for anyone that's going to play it. You want to case out the levels, talk to everyone, check everything out. I'm sure I've still missed some stuff. I'm not saying I found everything. I found all the key items to keep the game.
For sure. Well, that's how most games are. Like, especially RPGs are mostly like talk to every character because there might just be a little thing that you can't find. Like that jerky that I've talked about before from Chrono Trigger. Like the little small thing that you missed that will like halt your whole game.
Kind of a jerky thing for the developers to do.
Yeah. But I mean, another negative aspect of the game, I think, is like the complete removal of like the open world, and how everything's like level based. That was a sticker star thing that they added for that, where it's like, you go from one dot to another. It just makes me miss like the stuff like even Super Paper Mario had it, where like everything was kind of connected, and you just walk from like one area to another. It kind of takes really took a lot of the RPG-ness out of it.
Right, which is kind of funny because Super Paper Mario was like still arranged in 4 levels, 4 stages per level, like that type of thing. But there's still like a hub. Yeah, there's no hub here, but it truly does, like each level is definitely its own level. The levels aren't actually really tied to each other. Like, yes, they affect each other in certain senses, but they're not like a progression of things. But what's fun, and it does remind me of Super Paper Mario in the sense, because you might have people that you can talk to within the level. There's also a lot of enemies and stuff. So you're not necessarily just fighting enemies. You might actually be going into a level. You might actually just be doing a thing where you're like solving a puzzle.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like I got to
that keeps it fresh and fun.
I got to the second part where you're just like going to the professor's house and like there's not really any enemies there. You're just going there and talking to him. Like that's about where I am. With the professor and his chain chomp dog and all that.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've already done.
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of like backlash on this game, and I can sort of understand why. And I haven't played Sticker Star, so I've got a little bit of obliviousness to that because this is pretty much the same people.
Yeah, it's very much like Sticker Star. They've just done, like I said, they've just done a little bit to try to fix what people complained about in that game, but not enough, I don't think. But it's still fun. It's super cheery. It looks nice. But
it's cheery. It's always cheery.
Yeah, but I mean, you should give Sticker Star a try though if you like this game. Like I said, it's more of the same, but you might enjoy it still.
It's just a more archaic version.
It's just like what I said. It's the same sort of stuff, except you don't have those little things that make it a little bit more bearable. Like in this one. That's what I think about that one.
So this one's like they listen to feedback from Sticker Star. You're like, all right, well, let's make a sequel to that, but let's do this stuff different.
Let's do the same thing, but we'll make everything. Yeah, we'll make everything a little bit better.
Everything looks for sure. I mean, this is one of the best looking Wii U games, I would say.
Yeah, it does look really nice.
Like this game looks great. This is like what you always hoped for back in the day when you heard graphics were like getting better, things were getting in 3D. This looks like somebody made it as a diorama and you're just walking around it. It's what you would have hoped for, but instead, like, everyone just tried to be realistic in a different way or within the confines of the hardware. This, like, is truly realistic. It looks like real shit that you have at your house.
Sure. Well, it's very much like a...
Of course that's a wall. It's made out of corrugated cardboard.
Yeah.
Of course that's something I got to pull. It's a ribbon.
Yeah.
So, like, it all makes sense in that physical way in the universe.
Yeah, it's like along the same lines as like Yoshi's Woolly World and the Kirby game, the Clay Kirby game, the Rainbow Curse. Same sort of thing, It fits along with those with the real life objects.
Reminds me a little bit of Pikmin in the sense of like the things that you get that you bring out, which I think they definitely missed an opportunity to like actually like bring out the thing. You just press A, and I wish you could like use the sticks to simulate a ringing motion.
Yeah, well, that'll be the NX version where you have the where you have the two controllers and you just like move them both in opposite ways and it rings it out in real time.
Think it'll be in real time?
Yeah, real time ring out. You can
see it as it drains out.
Yeah,
and the different like vibrations would feel like liquid exiting.
Yeah,
yeah, it's It does remind me, though, of juicing the fruit Pikmin, I guess.
Oh, sure. Yeah, in Pikmin 3. Well, it also is kind of like Pikmin 2, where you would just kind of like collect these random things that you don't really need, but you'll find like weird shit. You'll find like a Game Boy or like a battery or like, stuff that's just like a collection. That's like more how 2 was. And it is kind of like that. Like with the random waving cat, a ceramic thing or whatever. That's like something you would find in Pikmin, like Pikmin 2.
The items are very strange. Very, random and strange. And then, like, this almost, like, some of the thing cards when you use them remind me a little bit of the silly stuff in Katamari Damacy. Or about, like...
Oh, sure, yeah.
WarioWare, of course.
Yeah, like the fan one that's, like, above the earth. Like, that looks like something that would be in the Katamari Damacy, for sure. I've only seen
WarioWare.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of them. I like the fire hydrant or the fire extinguisher. It was like it basically looked like Gotham, where it's like all of a sudden you're on top of a building and like everything's on fire. It looks like Batman's going to show up or something.
It's like real urban and gritty.
Yeah.
There's a couple of the thing cards that are like that kind of take you to a gritty, realistic urban setting.
I used the lemon one.
It's so weird.
Yeah. I used the lemon one because the lemon looks so good. I tried to use it on Morton. It didn't really work on Morton, but because like when he was in his, because I didn't talk to the guy who was like, I'm going to tell you what you need for the castle. I'm like, oh, I don't need to know that. I bet I have everything. And then like the one thing I didn't have was what he needed. But still, I wanted to believe that I could still beat him, whether I had that thing or not, because you should be able to still beat him, if you're good enough. But I guess you can't.
Well, I'll also say again to be like transparent about this game. Like, if you're going to play this game, make sure like don't feel like you're cheating if you use the hint system in the game, because you kind of have to if you're doing something.
Yeah, no, you definitely do.
Like the hint system's like put in there as an element of playing the game. It's not. I don't know. You're not really like getting any more joy out of it if you don't read the hints, I don't think.
Yeah, and that paint can is really lonely in your pocket. Make sure you take them out. Make sure you take him out and talk to him every once in a while. I liked a lot of the weird humor in it, like when all those toads were like locked in that house, and they're like, the guy's like, we've been stuck in here forever. He's like, I've been stuck in here forever, and it got weird. I think I need to leave town. Yeah, a whole lot of stuff about like awkwardness and weirdness in there. Like the kung fu guy that's like, you can come over and watch movies. I got surround sound. It won't be weird, I swear. Like that guy. And then you go into his house and it looks like awful. There's like no surround sound anywhere. I was kind of disappointed. It's like, where are your surround sound speakers, man? Looks like a dump in here.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it for you, but fine, I'm going to mention it anyway. There's one point where you find a book. It's this huge book, and it's called the Internet Print Edition.
That's really awesome. The Internet print edition.
It's like a parentheses print edition.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and then there's another part where you might have seen it already. Like, you get the messages from Peach. Maybe you haven't got a message from Peach yet. And it's like the Pankins, like she this little paper card that opens up. And
the holograms. Yeah, I got one of those.
And the Pankin's like, how cool! It's a hologram in full 2D. It's so flat, it's like she's actually standing there.
Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of it reminded me a lot of like Star Wars, like the whole R2D2 Obi-Wan Kenobi, like a hologram.
Oh, that's definitely what they're doing.
Is what I thought about it, because like the little thing, and there's it's a blue hologram also. It looks like the one from the movie.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, it's a Star Wars. I just like the hologram in 2D because they exist in 2D space.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny parts to it. Like, I forget what part it was, but there's a toad that you save. I mean, there's a lot of toads that you rescue, and they all say they all say pretty funny stuff, like whenever they come to. But there was one guy that was like, I rescue him, and he's like, man, I always wanted to. He's like, now that you rescued me, I'm gonna go do what my number one goal in life was. And that's cordless bungee jumping, and he just jumps off. He just jumps off the cliff, and he never sees it again. He just kind of kills himself. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, these toads say some weird stuff.
I forget what was. Some guy was like that. He's like that sounds so weird. It's like tuna fish without ketchup. I'm like, what? You don't put ketchup on tuna fish. And even the can was like, I don't understand your reference. I don't understand that last part. But yeah, it's funny. I mean, it's funny. It's worth it. It's just. Some of us still wish it was wish it was still an RPG. Like even when I beat Morton, like when I beat Morton Koopa, I was like, oh cool, I get experience. I'm like, oh wait, no, I don't. This is a different game. This isn't Dragon Quest. I'm like, oh, I'll get a lot of experience for beating him. I'm like, nope. But I guess you sort of
there's a level up. There's like a curve that's happening, but it's just
level,
because you're getting through barriers in the game.
Yeah, you level up somewhat when you get a star. When you get a new star, you get a little bit more powerful, right?
Right. So you get more powerful in the sense that your HP goes up, but you also get better at the enemies you can hit before a battle and then cancel the battle.
I saw that. There's some guys that'll actually. Yeah, when you hit them, they'll just go away. I got to that on the second one. So the more
paint stars you get, the stronger that effect is. And it doesn't really explain it. You just kind of figure it out for yourself.
Yeah, I figured it's like powering.
You should always try to swing your hammer at a bad guy when it's running at you. It's a habit you should.
Well, yeah, I figured it was just like powering up your hammer as you go.
But it works with jumping too. It's just like a preemptive attack.
As long as it's not a spiny person.
You can use the iron jump on the spiny guys.
Oh yeah, but I mean, you need use that card. Like if you're jumping into the battle like that, it won't work.
Right. You can't equip iron boots or something. Which is
no. Yeah, you can't equip. You can't equip anything. There's no equipment anymore. That was another thing they removed from it. Oh well. I guess it was all badges and stuff in the other one.
I have not had a problem with money in this game yet. I've always had enough money, and I've been skipping all the Rochambeau temples.
I was going to ask you if you did any of those because I got to maybe round 3 on one of them, but I just didn't really get it, and it wasn't really fun, so I kind of just left.
You know what? I beat round 3, and I think it was just sheer luck.
Yeah, because in the
first
one
for it, and I just got lucky. Because there's definitely hints to get through the first 2 rounds. So essentially you want to figure out the one that you can pick that's either going to be a tie or a win. But you're either going to tie or you're going to win based on the information you get first.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
There's still a random chance you won't win, but if you tie, you just play again and just play the same thing again. Just keep doing that until you win.
Yeah, I got I tied.
Figure out how it works with the third guy.
Yeah. I tied on the second one, but I don't yeah.
Rock, paper, wizard.
Yeah. Do you get I mean, do you get anything?
Band name, by the way.
Rock, paper, wizard. Yeah. Do you get anything for beating the whole thing? Like, do you just get more coins?
They give you like a rare card, which I actually can't remember what the rare card was.
Do you
No, maybe I got a. I think what I got from beating him was a. I'd have to look and make sure, so don't quote me on this. But I am saying it on this podcast. I think that it gave me more like total cards I could hold at once.
Oh, well, that'd be a nice thing to have.
I think it might have added a few, but I'm not positive. Because I'm right. I'm at 99 now. Where are you at?
I think I'm still at 99. I mean, I've been at 99 for most of it.
All right, then that's definitely not it.
I mean, that's. I thought that was what I had the whole time, except for maybe one time I leveled up. I feel like I leveled that up one time, but I don't remember how or when it happened. But yeah, I think I have 99. So you're on the 4 star and you don't have more than 99?
No, I don't.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
That must be the amount you have. I
Must
buy a
be.
lot of the double stuff from the store.
Oh, for sure, yeah. No, I've been.
Buy the unpainted. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're almost always going to have paint, and you get paint back when you beat bad guys.
You do. I guess that's another thing, benefit to beating people. You get bad. Because I did fight a couple of people to try to get more paint back, and it did actually work.
Yep. So there's a little like merit to grinding, but you still have to get rid of cards. Can't. Well, I guess you can do the battle spin or whatever, but you can only do it once per battle, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I've never actually used it.
I've used it a couple of times, just situationally. Like I'd be like, I don't feel like stocking up on cards. I just want to play this next level, and then I'll like play it, and then I'll be like, well, I could go back, but let's just see how far I can.
Oh, just by doing the roulette? Yeah.
And that's kind of fun, too, because I've beaten some levels that I was like, shit, I'm going to have to go all the way back and start. Oh, no, I got all the way through that level.
Oh, yeah, well, that's cool.
I had and what the level supplied. So this game's fun. It's fun, and it's all nice. And I'm going to beat it. I think I'll probably beat it soon. I've been tearing through it.
I believe so, yeah. It sounds like
it. Last Thursday, and I've pretty much been playing it in most of my spare time.
Yeah.
There's a couple of days where I've been like, I'm not going to play it now. I'm going to wait till later to do other stuff.
Yeah, but I was trying to play it as much as I could before we got to this, just at least to get an idea of it. Have you gotten to the Mario 3 part? Like I saw a part where you fall into the Mario 3 game. Have you made it to that yet?
I must not have because I don't know what that is. I've seen some Mario 3 elements, but I don't feel like I've been in like a Mario.
Well, it's like it's just like a picture I saw like with the Mario 3 background, like where you're in like it's like that sprite. Like the same sprite background with the Paper Mario.
Oh, I definitely haven't.
Okay, I figured that you would have hit that by now, and that's what I was. It looked cool, it looked like a fun thing to do, but I don't know.
It must be later. I got the 4th paint star, and then I got because after you get a paint star, it like goes over something and like paints it. You can move through that level. Like I think when you get the paint star, it makes that gate red.
Yeah, it paints the whole gate for you. The first star, the red star.
Well, every time you get a paint star, it paints something to like let you advance. That's a theme. Spoiler alert! I don't think it's
Does it paint that giant coin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it did because I found the giant coin in the second part.
Oh, that part's really cool. I won't ruin it for you, but it's cool.
Oh, okay.
You'll find out when you get there.
Yeah. Sure.
But it's always cool. It's always cool, like how that shit works. I like it. There's always a little fun moment, what it means when that gets painted. The first time around, like with the gate getting painted, that was kind of whatever. It's usually a little more surprising and cool after that.
Well, I figured I was like, oh, okay, it'll paint that, and that'll be where I go next.
But it'll still be kind of a cool little thing that happens, and not just like a gate open.
Yeah. Well, I'll continue along with it as long as I can.
You should. You really should. It's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think that I'd want a diversion from RPGs since I've been playing like so much Dragon Quest, but I like those games though. I mean, that's the kind of game that was always the game that I wanted to play was the RPG because I maybe because I was robbed of it for so long from Nintendo. Well, during the 64 era for sure.
I'm not sure if we mentioned it, and I don't know if it's like this in Sticker Star, but you still have the time-based attacks, so you're still like hitting the button at the right time.
Yeah.
Block and hitting the button at the right time. Like using your jump attacks, you can hit the enemy up to 5 times.
Yeah.
Hammers. The hammers do different things, but there's like definitely an optimum point to hit the button.
Yeah, for sure. Have you been using much of the companion cards that they have in there? I guess that's kind of interesting. You can get a card of the bad guy that you fought, so that gives you like a little bit more incentive to fight people.
I'll tell you, I've used them.
I use them, but they don't seem to do very much.
They
be very
block
powerful.
attack,
Yeah, they block attacks.
use.
Yeah, because I saw like you can get like shy guys that have spikes on their heads, and like they'll so then when Goomba attacks them, they'll get hurt. You can do that. So then they can actually attack a couple times.
My favorite is just a green Koopa because he does the shell attack and like kills everybody.
Oh yeah. No, that'd be a good one to do.
As long as
Yeah,
they're a ground-based enemy.
Yeah, as I've been playing through it, I've been trying to figure out ways to wipe everybody out in the first round. You always want to try to make sure you can do that so you don't have to go,
Don't be stingy with your cards. You can get more.
I was gonna ask you, like, do you know, like, say if you attack, like, say if you throw 2 attacks up and only one goes, do you get to keep that second card, or do you still lose that second card? I couldn't really figure that out either. I think you lose both of them, right?
You do. Yep. Once you put it in play, it's gone. Like, once you put it in play, it's gone. Yeah. So if you put paint on it or you don't paint it, the painting part, when it asks you to paint the card, is when, like, you say goodbye.
Yeah. Have you been playing in the advanced mode also, where you can like put it down and paint it at the same time and it doesn't go to a different screen?
Yeah, I played around with the different modes. That's my favorite one for sure. I tried the button one because it lets you scroll through the cards with the control pad, which is kind of nice. But you still have to go to that second paint screen.
Yeah.
So I wish they could have combined the button control and the touch control, but they didn't. Like, there's not an option. If you could flip through the cards with the D-pad and paint them with the touch screen, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, because I do like the swipe where you like you kind of dig through them with your finger, on the touch screen. That can be kind of annoying if you have a lot of them, for sure.
There's a lot of annoyances to this game, but I'm just trying to love it because it's
it might
the last Wii U has.
Well, the Breath of the Wild, it has that.
Besides
and Ukulele's not coming out for NX, so suck it, NX.
It will.
They said no to it. I don't know. I'm excited for Ukulele. It's Stardew Valley, man. We got Stardew Valley at the end of the year.
So did you know this is one of those games that the fans campaign to like not have it released, just like Federation Force?
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. That's sad. I think that's sad. This game's not that bad.
Well, Federation Force isn't bad either. It's just, I don't know.
Let's say you drop this game. Let's say you drop this game on people 10 years ago. I think that it would have gotten better, more appreciation. But a lot's changed in video games since then.
Well, it's kind of...
This game is deliberately trying to skew the genre in some way, and it's not doing very good.
Yeah. It's basically trying to make it not an RPG, but it still has RPG stuff in it. They need to, what they need to do is just, I don't understand why they can't kind of go the Super Paper Mario route and just completely cut off the battle, and just make everything real time. I don't know why they still need that turn-based battle in there. Battle's
cool, though. I like the battle, and maybe I'm one of those fans that they're, trying to cater to. Wants that battle screen because they want it to be an RPG.
Yeah, but it's not. It's not an RPG.
It's really not.
In any way. I mean...
Card game, kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I mean, in my opinion, you have to be able to level up to be an RPG, I guess. That's how I feel.
This has very...
Even though, well, I guess I would call it Zelda an RPG, so maybe that's not the case. But maybe open world, it would make it an RPG. I don't consider it an RPG, even though it sort of is, just because of the turn-based-ish stuff.
Yeah, and you level up, but it's still you're just getting into that point in the game, no matter what, once you get to that point in the game.
Yeah, you're still in the same... You don't get leveled up because of the battles you fought. You get leveled up because you got a star or whatever.
Yeah, and it was kind of like that in some elements of Thousand Year Door. You got special spells each time you got a new star. I don't know if you...
Yeah, you did, but you still got your hit points raised and your attack power and all that.
Right. That's where I would say the similarity is. So instead of just giving you a special spell, getting a star, a paint star is leveling up. That is leveling.
For sure. Yeah. I kind of like before I forget about it. I like how the bad guys taunt you while you're fighting also. I thought that was funny. Like while you're looking through the stars, they'll say stuff to you, or while you're looking through the cards.
Sometimes they'll attack you if you're not quick enough.
Oh yeah. Because I was fighting a red shy guy, and he was he's like, Mario, red's really not your color. He said that to him while I'm going through the cards. But yeah, they'll still say stuff. Most of the time I miss it because I'm looking at the cards, but I think it's funny how they say little stuff to you. But it does get to the point where they don't wait for you to fight. They'll fight you while you're doing that, while you're looking for your attack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what they do is they steal a card. That's usually what happens in my experience.
Yeah.
And then you have to kill that enemy, which you can't. You also can't choose who you're attacking. You have to attack whoever's. That becomes annoying later in the game.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying too. At least it's if you have a card that has 2 or 3 things in it, even if you fuck up the first one, it still goes to the next guy.
Yeah.
If you mess up the timing on the first one, it'll still go to the second person.
And at least so on. You have a fresh chance to do well on that bad guy.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot. So I don't want to ruin it for you. I just there's just some stuff that happens later in the game which you're not too far from.
Yeah,
those multi attacks are pretty much necessary.
Yeah, sure.
So you actually literally have to count how many enemies you see stacked on top of each other and stuff to determine what cards to use. So there's some strategy to it, but I still think that you can just get a bunch of money and then buy all the cards. You buy the Rochambeau things because you can play those over.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have a lot of money anyway. In the game, I think I have 3,000 something. So it's already pretty high. And I do go to the town every once in a while. I'll buy 10 of every card. Pretty much just buy a bunch of non-painted ones. Just so I have a lot of stuff to work with,
It's a way to do it. And you're always going to get, your paint back. Yeah, there's going to be certain times where you're going to run out of paint. But
it seems like the store kind of evolves as you go through the game, too. When you go back, they'll have better cards. So you can buy something better as it goes. So, I don't know. I'll stick. We'll see how long I can go. Hopefully I can make it to the end of it. Hopefully it doesn't get as annoying as Sticker Star, where I just get a game over a lot and it sends me back to the title screen, which I don't think it does that either on this one. Does it send you back to the title screen when you get a game over, or does it just start you again in the... It does?
It does.
Okay, because I only died one time against Morton, and I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, it sent you back to the title screen, and then you got back to your save, which was probably right next to it.
Yeah, and there's no multiple saves on this one either.
Nope. There is weird. If you switch users.
Yeah, you have to switch users, but there's not within the game. There's not multiple save files. I think that's new. It's a new thing.
It auto saves anytime you leave a level or enter. Anytime you leave a level, it auto saves.
Yeah, the Sticker Star did that too. It saves whenever you go to the map, the world map. It automatically saves. So
you can avoid the auto save if you just don't exit a level. If you're oh shit, I don't want to do that map, you can just turn it off. But you can't leave the level because it'll save. So once you leave it,
yeah.
If you were stupid just fucking around trying to beat a bad guy and using all your thing cards, which I did one time,
yeah,
they're still gone.
Yeah,
because you exited.
Well, then you got to go back to the town and buy them again from that dude.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you can get them back. I'm sure it's not that expensive. It's not going to kill you. I don't know. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Paper Mario Color Splash?
Well, as I said before, I played through and I'm past 4 stars and I'm still engaged with it. So.
Okay.
I think this game is. I think it's a good game. I'm going to stand by that. Maybe I'll feel differently once I beat it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad game by any means. I'm just saying, just giving my thoughts on it.
This is definitely the best Wii U game in over a year. That's, I will stand by that. Probably.
Well, it depends on. I mean, I think that I don't know. I like Tokyo Mirage Sessions better than this game as far as RPGs go. But that's
okay.
But that's a different
game.
I
haven't played the game.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess in my opinion, but if I played Tokyo Mirage Session, I might change it.
But that's an actual RPG. That's an actual RPG game. So that's probably why I like that one better. There's actually strategy, and you can. Well, there's strategy to this too, to a point. But you can choose who you attack, and you can buy stuff and level up and all that fun stuff.
I've been taking a lot of screenshots as I play this game because I don't know when I'm going to go back and play it. I don't know if there's going to be an incentive to play through it again.
Well, whenever you beat it, you should play one of those unopened sticker stars that you have. Because I'd be interested to see what you think of it. Oh, you should definitely try it. If you like this,
there's a lot of tedium to this game, but if you view it like I kind of have, I've been trying to view it as sort of a Zen thing because it's never really that hard.
Sure, I mean I enjoy it. I think it's funny.
It's very
charming.
Take your time with it.
Yeah,
that's this game.
It's very charming. There's just annoyances to it, and it's still in the back of my mind, it's not what I want from a Paper Mario game. I want Thousand Year Door too, but we're probably never going to get that. So unfortunately, so
there's a really annoying part that you're not to yet, where it's instant death.
Oh, that's not cool.
They throw that at you, and that part sucks a lot.
Yeah.
So I actually had to like trial and error my way through it to figure out what I had to do, and I kept having to like die, go back to the title screen, go back to the nearest save point, go back to that part, go through this series of cinematics, and then do it again. I'd die, and I'd be like, okay, I need to do this instead. That part fucking sucked.
Yeah.
So there's stuff like this in this game. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. There's some frustrating stuff, and I've only looked for help online one time, and I feel bad about it. But I'm glad I did because it was like a really obvious thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't some obscure thing. It was some like, you're a fucking idiot. It was like, just walk left. As I didn't walk left. I was supposed to walk left. So.
Yeah. I looked online for those toads that I couldn't find, the purple toads, just because I was so annoyed at the game at the time that I was like, and some of the guides that I found like didn't explain any of it at all. Like they didn't explain to you where the toads were. Or even, like, what happens there. It's stupid. Like, the IGN guide is stupid. There's, like, parts that just doesn't explain anything. It's just
well, it's still new. It hasn't been, like...
It's like you get to this part, and then you beat the level, and then, oh, yeah, you can get to this next part. I'm like, no, you can't. You left this whole part out about finding this part to get to the next part. Come on.
It's still a really new game.
Yeah, sure. I was just irritated because I was trying to get... It was like, I want to beat the boss, and then I'll go to bed. And I was, like, trying to get to the boss, and I had to find all this dumb shit. And it was just aggravating me. But I'll keep playing it. I mean, I think it's pretty. I think it's charming. I think it's entertaining.
Yeah.
And the way it like how good it looks, it just makes me really wish that they end up doing a 1,000-Year Door HD, like how they kind of teased that at E3. I hope they actually do that because it would look really nice if they could make it look like that. If they could make a 1,000-Year Door with these graphics, that'd be amazing. I'd play the shit out of that.
Or just a new game that's a direct sequel.
Or just a new game that's like 1,000-Year Door, which I don't think they're going to do. They're going to keep it going like this. But there was an interview with one of the people who worked on it that said, like, you know, where they were talking to them about 1,000-Year Door, and they were like, well, would you buy an HD version if we made it? And they're like, well, yeah, of course we would.
Of course we would.
So it's like, you know, I guess it's a little tease. Maybe they're working on it, maybe they aren't. I mean, they could. There's no analog trigger stuff in that. So they could easily do that. They could easily put it on Wii U. They don't need the specific controller, but that'll be the surprise. That'll be the surprise Christmas game. That's your Door HD. That'd be funny because Paper Mario games like always seem to come out at the end of the life cycle of the system, or most of them do. Sticker Star didn't. That was like more of a newer one. But like, you know, like Super Paper Mario, that was supposed to be an end GameCube game. Came out early on Wii because it was too late for the GameCube. But
the thing about that, that would be like if. That would be like if they released Skyward Sword HD remake right after they released a new Zelda. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Here's the newest game. Now we're going to compete with purchases of the new game by releasing the previous game in HD.
Well, they might sell more copies. I don't know. Apparently it sold well though, because like I bought a physical copy from GameStop, and it was the last copy they had. So they either didn't order very many, which is probably the case, or a lot of people bought them. So, you know, I had to buy the floor copy, which they used to give you discounts for, but they don't do that anymore.
I'd imagine GameStop has like a distribution hub, and they like just stock a certain amount of copies per store. But like if they sell their 3 copies, they'll get 3 more copies the next day.
Yeah.
That's sort of what I think.
Oh no! I mean, I've been to places where they run out because I have a feeling they order like whatever you reserve, and then they get like maybe 2 or 3 more, if that, you know, past whatever the reservation.
They don't want too much access.
Depending on what the game is, well, especially for Nintendo stuff, I don't think they get very many of them. Like stuff like Dragon Quest VII, like I reserved it, and they told me they were only going to get like 2 of them, maybe, aside from whatever people reserve. So it's like. Stuff like that. They're not going to get a whole bunch of them because they don't expect people to come get it, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, that's been our impressions of Paper Mario Color Splash. You should go out and get it because yeah, it might be the last game. Definitely the last game of this year, I guess, for Wii U. So, you know, hopefully it'll last you till Breath of Fire or Stardew Valley or whatever else you're going to play on there.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild for sure.
That's all we got left. Hold on to this game. Hold it close. Snuggle with it. Treasure it.
I still think there might be some surprise at the end of the year. You never know.
Give it Eskimo kisses.
Never say never. And there might be some cool... I mean, we're definitely going to keep getting cool Virtual Console stuff for the Wii U, so at least we have that. And I'm looking forward to playing Stardew Valley and Yooka-Laylee, so and playing Zelda on my Wii U, because I'm going to get that version.
tuck it under your pillow at night. Dream about it.
It might get broken.
Live inside the world while you can.
Yeah, sleep with that gamepad by your head, so your face will be hot. Anyway, that's been our show. We're your hosts, Trey Johnson,
Jeremy Mikowski,
and we'll see you next week.
Talk to you next week.
Later.